She's a leaf with beef and he's a stick that kicks. Hello and welcome back to Bug Realms. On this channel we like to discuss all things creepy crawly, so if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel. So I've got a good one for you today, guys. We are going to be doing Heteropteryx dilatata care, that is the jungle nymph. Now these are native to West Malaysia and actually have the record for heaviest of all the stick insect species. So anyway, I'll yap on as we set everything up for you. So guys, here we have a 45cm tall by 30 Exoterra, which is the perfect for a couple of jungle nymphs. Now I'm going to be putting in substrate while I chat, as I did in the Extatosoma tiaratum video. So guys, basically you do need a substrate bottom to this, soil or sand, though you are going to be much better off with a soil based substrate, purely because these guys like humidity. Oops. Sorry guys, I'd moved the camera there because I kept knocking it with my legs as I was putting in this substrate. So as I was saying, yes, this species does need a higher humidity than some of the other stick insects that I keep, and they do need a thick layer of substrate on the bottom, because like I said with the Urocantha calcarata, if you haven't seen that video, I will pop a link to it at the end. They have an ovipositor at the end of their abdomen, which they then sink into the substrate to lay their ova. Now the period of time for ova on these is huge, guys. You're going to be waiting over a year for nymphs to hatch of the jungle nymph. But the good thing about them, guys, is they actually have a longer lifespan than a lot of other phasmids do. You can have these living with you happily for a couple of years, whereas an awful lot of phasmids have around a year lifespan. So they're pretty much doubling most of the others there. And now I'm adding the substrate that contains my springtails to help keep this enclosure nice and clean. And then lastly we're going to add a layer of sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss is really good for maintaining humidity levels within an enclosure. It also helps nymphs hatch because it gives them something to grab onto. Now in here, guys, I had to, because I'm rehoming them, I had to move all that ova out of the last container. So as you can see, compared to some other species, the ova is huge and they have really nice little markings on. I'm not sure how well you can see. So, look, that one looks like it's got a number 7 on it. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Now these are best just left alone than taken out. However, if you are going to have them separately in a tub, you need it in a lot more substrate than this and nicely planted inside. But I'm just going to be popping them into the soil and burying them myself now. So those are nice and buried inside the substrate now. So if there were any issues with that, she will be for laying a lot more ova anyway. So next we need to add our food plant. So here we are. I haven't actually decorated this particular pot. We'll do that another time. So these guys will eat bramble, hawthorn, oak, cherry, and also take ivy. But as I've always recommended before, don't use ivy as a staple diet. Now these are, as I said earlier, the heaviest of all phasmids. They also will need slightly thicker branches, or it's recommended to have slightly thicker branches because they will weigh it down and knock the pot over. So I'm going to bury the pot a little bit in there, and I've got it resting towards the back of the enclosure, so if they hold on to it, it's less likely to fall forwards. Ta-da! So they actually crawled onto this themselves. I'll see if she'll want to go on me. I am actually, if there are any phasmids in this world that I'm afraid of, it is these. Now, they're not savagely dangerous or anything, guys, but at the start I said to leaf with beef. She has an attitude problem. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the Dark Den video featuring his jungle nymphs, but they do swing their legs and kick you, and they've got all these sharp spines on the back of their legs. And it is going to hurt, guys, if they whip you with that. They do it at such a speed. Now, she's actually, see, she's raised her back leg there. Now she'll use that, she'll bring both her back legs back and will whip you with those. She will also make a hissing noise. She can do that with her wings, and it's actually pretty creepy. Now she's got the male on her back. You can see the size comparison difference. The male there is a dark brown colour and he has fully working wings, although as with the Ectarsoma auratum, he's more of a flutterer than a flyer. See, every time I've moved my hand there, ooh. What I've done here, guys, is I'm going to let her crawl onto me. I know what you savage lot are like, and you want to see me handle the jungle nymph, especially because I'm afraid of it. Well, I don't want to let you down, guys, so here we go. I'm going to let her come off. Now, one thing that does freak me out in all insects, whether it's phasmids or something else, are winged ones. Winged ones really freak me out. So if the male starts flapping his wings, I'll probably scream like a little girl. Now, she's just checking around there with her antenna. You can get placid ones of these. They're not all highly defensive, guys, but I still don't really want to anger her. So there we have it, holding our jungle nymphs. Now you can actually feel the strength of the grip that she's got on me there. Doesn't hurt, but they all do have little hooks on the bottom of their legs, and you can feel it when it grips on. It's a really strange sensation. Now, these have sexual reproduction, so they do need a male. They are not parthenogenic. They will not lay fertilised ova without the male. Oh, this is so weird, guys, her pinching my skin. I very, very rarely handle this girl. But I've got to admit, guys, without the signs of aggression, I'm actually incredibly happy. I think it's about time that we pop her into the enclosure, don't you? And she will kick me given the chance. Just trying to get her to come onto my arm now so that I can move her into her enclosure. Now normally what I would do is I would entice them onto my hand by touching the abdomen, but I don't really want to be kicked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep moving my hand slightly upwards because it's their natural reaction to climb up. So if I keep jolting it upwards, there we go, she's on my hand. And let's just pop her in. See how the male has been so calm and placid throughout this entire time. He'll quite often spend a lot of time sat on the female's back, but not always. You will find them separate, moving around as well. There we go, she's going onto the leaf, but we'll let her do it in her own time. Trying to grip onto the glass there, bless her. Use the leaf, lady, that's what it's there for. You can see her sheer weight is actually pulling that leaf down, so if I were to let go, she would drop. See? There we go. So guys, for those of you that want to know about sizing, the male gets to around 8 or 9 centimetres and the female can get up to a whopping 15 centimetres. Very, very impressive. And very, very weighty too. And you can see that large bit bulge on the end of her abdomen. That is where she will prod it into the ground to plant her ova. That is her ovipositor. Now while I try and get you some nice close-up shots, I also want to add that they are not huge eaters for the sheer size of them. I mean, the bramble that I've got in there now will last them around a week or so. Most large phasmids are very, very greedy, but these guys, they're very slow moving and they don't eat an awful lot, which I've always found really interesting about this species. You can see all those spines there in a little bit more detail. They also have it all down their body, look. And there's the male, so you can see the length of his wings there. He also has the thorns on his legs. The males also do the kicking, although it's not as strong as the females. And there you can see the head size comparison to both of them. Both have long antennae. So guys, there's my care video on the jungle nymphs. I only have that pair at the moment. I picked those up at the Western Invert show, not the last one I went to, but the one before that, the year before, and they have done well ever since. I hope you found this useful. If you do have any more questions regarding the jungle nymphs, please post it in the comment below, and also let me know what you thought of the video there. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing to us. Anyway, that's it from me today, guys. Take care, thanks, bye bye.